right. Hello. Welcome to main show number 9 of the TRC podcast. To my right, I've got Levi.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
And to my left, I've got Anthony.
Hello.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to this week's podcast.
Yeah, it's a cold week.
Yeah.
If you notice, we're all wearing... Anthony's got his winter hat on.
Is that why?
And I have our coats.
Fuzzy.
Dude, I wear shorts and shirts, like t-shirts all year round. I refuse to believe that winter's coming.
So it was cold the week before. It was hot. Then it was cold. Then it was nice. Last week was amazing.
Yeah.
It's having
and
a
then this week
of,
it's really cold.
Next week it's going to hit 70s.
It was
again.
34 this morning when I woke up.
Yeah. This is the time of year that Boise gets weird weather-wise.
So, and it's to the point like we'll get 30-degree mornings, and then we'll get 70 or 80-degree afternoons.
One of these days, are going to wake up and it's snowing, and it's not even...
It's because what happens is you turn the heat up in your car and you drive to work.
And then you get home
drive home and you're like, oh my God. Hot.
Well, dude, that's kind of how it is on a motor.
And you're like, oh, I left my heater on.
On a motorcycle, right? So it's like the ride to work, you're literally freezing, dude. I'm talking like you're gonna get like frost on your windscreen, and then on the way home you're sweating, or it's perfect temperature. So it's you can't get the best of both worlds.
No.
I don't know. Is it different on the Grom being lower, or is it more like the Triumph is the one where you're...
The Triumph is like when you're riding at a faster speed, right? It's a little bit. It isn't as bad. You're cold, but for a shorter period of time because I can get to work pretty fast.
Well, that's why you pop wheelies at every stoplight.
Well,
when you take off,
stoplight,
it warms you up because
it's not every
it's the lifting of the upper body strength.
And then like the wind gusts.
Every time I've seen you.
I mean, all it takes is a stiff breeze, and the Grom is whoop.
Yeah. So then the Grom is that just it takes me a lot longer to get to work. So that's more of like you're suffering for longer because I'm sitting on that bike.
Well, and on that note, I think this is the time when like customers coming into the store, they're kind of maybe coming in and stocking up a little bit before winter hits and stuff. They're just getting their tail end of their gear.
Well, they start asking good questions, kind of like how can I start washing in the wintertime? Like what are some safe methods because it's getting to be too cold for me to stand outside my house and wash my car, because if you guys, I'm sure many of you watching or listening right now have washed your car out, mid-November, a very brisk morning in mid-November, and your hands are frozen. You're reaching into a bucket, praying that the water stays warm.
Some people don't realize you can wash your car in the winter and effectively.
In your garage. And you can do easy
I always
things.
like it. I have a little space heater in my garage. I crank it on and warm up the garage for about half hour before I go out. I mix up my water, and I get hot water, and
water's good.
I'll be honest,
but pretty warm.
Yeah,
and then that's
I use so I know most people use like an electric space heater. I'm one of those guys that uses a propane heater, and sometimes I don't vent out the garage as I probably should.
I thought you were gonna say I run my car.
No.
Is there something
it's not that bad, but the propane heater the propane heater works so well, but you're supposed to have a ventilated area. But I'm like, I don't even want to crack the garage door because then I'm gonna let all that hot air out. So I'll run the propane heater for like a little bit, and then
toxic air. All right.
Turn it off. I know. Maybe that's how I'm killing brain cells. I don't know.
So I worked on the Elantra this weekend for that reason because my thermostat was bad, and I've been putting it off all year. And last winter, I would drive to work, and at lights, at idle, the heater would stop blowing hot air.
Do you remember last year you'd show up to work, like you'd be bundled up in the Elantra every morning?
Yeah, and because it would literally take it was literally like the heat when it was driving would blow, but if I stopped at a stop, and it's all city all the way to work, stoplights. So every time I'd stop, it would stop blowing hot air.
Here's some hot air. There it goes again. Here's
and
some
so
hot
I
air.
bought everything to do it. I was lazy, and I just never did it. And then my wife drove the car the other morning, and she was like, what in the world? Why is it? That is ridiculous. What's wrong with the car? It literally is free. It took forever, and it wouldn't heat up. It was all this. And so I was like, yeah, that's my bad.
Like most
put it off.
Engine heat in order to create the,
And so that was my fault. So I fixed it.
Okay.
Took me a few minutes to do. I think total took me about an hour. I actually replaced the thermostat.
You showed us how bad the example videos are for trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I told these guys I should have recorded a video of how to do it because there are literally no videos on the internet, on YouTube, to do that. It's a very simple procedure.
I love homemade videos of people showing how to fix stuff because
that's my first thing now.
Maybe they're an expert, maybe they're not, but if it works, I'm willing to try it at least, as long as it's not something too dangerous. But, having those YouTube videos out there, just regular people posting those videos, it's really helpful. So thank you to those who do that.
I could have gotten millions of hits.
You could have.
There's so many Elantra, 06
so many
Elantra owners.
But how many Elantra owners are willing to do the work themselves?
I think all of them. I think they're a hardy.
They're all enthusiasts.
I think
they're all
if
deep
you're
down.
buying an Elantra, you're clearly an
Everybody knows that the Elantra makes for a great weekend racer.
Exactly. I think they're a hardy folk. They got a can-do attitude and spirit, and they like to achieve the impossible.
Like, I don't want you to ever get rid of the Elantra because you need to have this persona for the rest of your life because it's the best. And I don't even want you to upgrade to a newer, nicer Elantra. I want you to stick with that 06 forever, and when that fails, get another one.
Yeah. Well, I did watch, jumping ahead on our YouTube videos, I watched a YouTube video on a dude that built a Hyundai Accent, like an 06, 05 Hyundai Accent. He took a Mitsubishi Evo 7.
Oh.
He took an engine and transmission and differentials.
4G63.
All the running gear.
That'd be nasty.
And mounted it into this little tiny Accent.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's just a mobbing little rally car.
He did. And then he lifted it and put the tires and put all the suspension.
Would be a beast.
And
Everybody's into the rally
it's
stuff.
It's the most
now.
insane little car I've ever seen.
I think it's because of the popularity of crossovers. Everybody wants to get it. Even the enthusiasts are like, yeah, I'm done lowering my car. Well, I got to lift it up, put knobby tires on it now.
Yeah, I should have done that with mine. But
Safari, all
I got
the things.
I got to pull my snow tires out next, and I'm going to put moon discs
oh, my God.
on it.
Yeah.
So... for the steel wheels, so the Bonneville style.
Off of a Chevy HHR.
No, I've got no. I'm ordering some of the stainless steel moon discs.
Legit, okay.
Like the Bonneville salt flat style.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw those on for the winter.
That's gonna look nasty. It's gonna look good.
Because it'll
polish them up, coat them.
It'll have the studs on it, and it'll be a sweet little rally car because
it'll be kind of cool.
It'll just be silver.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be a little bullet.
I don't know when I'm because I have studded snow tires.
And
so that's what was on your car when you bought it.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna wait till I probably get to November. That's normally when I swap everything over, and I'll before the first snow hits because everybody knows how annoying it is hearing the sound of the road noise of the studs, and then
the car doesn't handle the same.
They fly off in the car, and
on
you
a
hear
dry
them.
road. It is not.
I like taking turns, bro.
I feel really sorry for any critters he hit too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm thinking about lifting the Miata, so we'll see.
Yeah,
do the Paco kit. Yeah.
That'd be rad. Then you can take it up 8th Street.
Yeah,
you can do some little trails and stuff. There's lots of cool videos.
Becomes a modern-ish Baja Bug.
Yeah. There you go.
So
anyway, all right. I guess we better get back on script here, huh? That was a fun tangent, but hey. So we kind of been figuring out, the release schedule for some upcoming videos. We did mention before that we have a new Wash Wednesday coming out that involves both these guys.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty cool experience. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, we talked about it last week a lot, but
we touched on it, but
we did. But we did a full wheels off coating job on Tyler's GT350R.
Yeah.
So we literally pulled it into our studio, washed it, lifted it up, threw it on jack stands, which was kind of sketchy.
It was a little sketchy.
Luckily, Tyler had they have jack bars or whatever they're called.
Yeah, he had installed them just the day before, right? They were like
they're basically
lift rails.
They're literally look like rock sliders, but for a Mustang, and they bolt to the frame under the body, and they provide a mounting point all the way along the door frame.
Because he said those 350s and
didn't come with
don't come with any kind of jack points.
Which is
like that's odd. Yeah, for like a track focused car, like what do you?
Cars nowadays are so standardized. You just kind of expect a car to have that.
Yeah.
Well,
so pretty crazy, but they. So we put those on, threw the jack stands under it, lifted up. We had 3 on each side just because of those jack rails were...
they're odd. They're basically on like the front of the car, and the rear area was just kind of hanging there.
Yeah,
right?
Realistically, it was like only the length of the door.
It was the length of the door.
It's a little unsettling,
so,
but at the same time, you got to remember the engine's up front, so most of the weight is focused.
Yeah, but it is
way.
kind of if you don't think about that stuff, it is kind of
you're looking at it, you're like, that can't possibly be balanced. Look at where the
So we added 2, and then Tyler had some really nice aluminum jack stands that we put in the back, just as we put them down just a little lower than the regular jacks, so they actually weren't touching the car, but they were just there just in case for safety. So
no surprises.
If you wonder why, if you see the video, we put 3 jack stands on each side.
Yeah, it might look weird if you're wondering, but that's why.
We just wanted to be safe because it's a really nice car, and we didn't want anything bad happening while we were
I'm all about like jacking up one side of the car, right, and then putting a jack stand for safety, but still having the jack holding up most of the car, right? But
when you're the opposite of me. I don't like doing that because I feel sketched out just leaving the jack there.
Oh no, so I'll put the jack there, but then I'll put the jack stands underneath and crank them up, so I have the jack and the jack stands as support, but I'll usually only lift one side of the car at a time. It's when you're lifting up the car and putting everything under jack stands where I'm like, I could see a little more room for error on this.
Yep.
Better do it right.
So, but that was cool. So we got to do that. We got to eat some pizza.
Yeah,
Tyler bought us lunch, so that was good.
That was really nice.
It was a busy day, though. We started in the morning, and what most of you don't realize is the video isn't very long, and it looks like we worked on it all day. We actually worked on it all day, but our total time into the vehicle was only a few hours of work because we had to keep stopping because this is
when you're shooting a video.
As the boss, your mom likes to say this is a working warehouse, so... we did have customers walking in asking questions. It was a Friday. Fridays are notoriously busy in our shop for some reason. People come into the store all the time, and so we just got mobbed to the point that Anthony and I were in the store for probably an hour and a half just helping customers before we could get back to working on the car. So there was a lot of that. But all in all, it worked out well. We got the car done, got it finished.
Tyler's
you guys were able to do a driving.
Got a coated car now. Yeah, and when we recorded our earlier podcast last week, we hadn't yet ridden in the car, hadn't done that
ridden
part.
In the drive yet,
we did it the day after we recorded that. So, Anthony, you can talk a little bit about
that was fun.
So the drive. So, basically what we did is that following, I think it was a Tuesday, we went down to his shop and downtown to his Sen Sport shop. So if you guys have actually...
Sen Sport Graphics.
Check out his website, check out his Instagram. He literally makes the nicest... he designs, paints. He does these helmet designs and paints on these helmets. Like they're the nicest helmets I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they're so intricate.
They're full like all hand painted everything. So
like each one of these little stripes is like drop shadows that he paints onto there, and it's so crazy to look at.
He's like a maestro with an X-Acto knife. The way he does these little vinyl inlays and stuff like that. Like seeing him do he was coating the insides of the fender wells when you guys were working on the car, and I videoed a little part of that. You'll see it in the video, but you can see he's so precise, and that's part of like goes into his helmet.
His
stuff.
job, yeah. So we went down there. Added to his shop, basically shot some little more footage, a little more cinematic footage of the GT350R, and then that's when we went for a drive. And it was so funny because I was so excited to go for a drive in this thing, but I was also so tired because it was like I wasn't awake yet. I wasn't
Anthony's
ready for.
Personality wasn't quite turned on yet. He was just kind of,
I need like at least 300 milligrams of caffeine in me before I'm awake. But
instead you got some horsepower that morning.
So we jumped in the car, and I gotta say, man, the interior of that car, those seats are so nice. Like they're so nice, the Recaro seats that are in there. And so sitting in there, it felt good. And then we started taking off, and that car, the power that it makes, his shifts were on point. The guy knows how to drive. So we're hitting these back roads, and he's getting on it.
The Voodoo motor likes to rev.
Yeah, within the speed limit, I think.
So good.
So we got some really cool, out of the car shots. We got some cool in of the car shots. And it's kind of like the follow-up to every one of our Wash Wednesday videos is we always go for a drive because people want to see the car. They want to hear the car. And what's the point of washing a car when you don't really get to experience it in any other way?
Yeah,
so,
if you're going to pick a cool car, you might as well enjoy it too. So
yeah. So the thing was, honestly, I was expecting, how is this car putting down this much power, and he's got these tires on there. The Pilot, I think, Sport Cups is what they're on, and
there's some sticky tires. They're
so sticky.
They pick up everything.
They picked up so much stuff just on our clean floor after we pulled the car, and they were.
But
still
you could tell it's like
stuff.
a track build because the front tires are almost as wide as the rear tires.
Yeah,
it's huge.
So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool because we're sitting in the car kind of doing pulls in there. He pulls over and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know, man. I haven't really messed with half this menu on this car. And he's like, I'm kind of learning as well. And so he's like, launch control, going through all these 0 to 60 times.
There's so many
and
features, so many rooms for activities.
There is. There was. It was like a whole like a video game system, like all these different things that you can do. Set your lap times. And he was like, I honestly haven't even sat down and gone through all this. So he's like, well, do you want to try this setting? I'm like, sure, let's go for it. Why not do it on camera? So that was a lot of the driving portion. It was a fun time. So we'll be expecting that video, Dane.
I don't think people realize how long shooting stuff like that takes.
Oh yeah.
It does take a while. So for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes of usable footage, you're usually looking at an hour or two of stuff put out.
So October 11th, we'll be getting that one out.
Yeah, we'll get that one out there. So any rate, moving on, we had a crazy weekend detailing.
Yeah. You guys were, I came down this morning to find out how their weekend was, and
man,
Anthony looks like he hasn't slept.
I haven't.
We got bags under our eyes. I don't know how much these lights can show, but it's happening.
That's why I wore a hat so they can't see my face.
He was detailing. I was just sitting there with a camera, but...
It was a long 3 days.
I'm the one yawning over here. You guys sorry. Jeez.
It was that. So it was that GT3. It was that 65 GT350 project that we mentioned in the previous podcast. So this thing, it's a Mecum Barrett Jackson car. It's a extremely expensive.
It is not your ordinary 60s Mustang. This thing is on another level in terms of
it's a legit car.
It was,
it's so cool.
It was super nice. But basically, what we did is, we got there on a Friday, and this is me kind of doing this on the side. But we thought we'd film the whole process, while we're at it.
Yeah, he was actually getting paid for this gig, so
so
I just came along to make the video out of posterity.
Yeah, but it was a lot of work because we had to. Not only did I have to actually do the manual labor of the paint correction, but we also had to film and we had to kind of record the process. And so half the time Dane was just kind of setting up for different shots, whereas I was putting in the time and working
video
the paint.
Eats up a lot of time. So that first day, we only got the roof done on the first day because of all the procedural stuff we had to do.
Set up time. And so the whole video is just to kind of show what goes into a high-end detail, because this is a $500,000 car, and kind of making note of all the intricate areas, making note of any imperfections, and kind of going around the car and actually getting to know it before you even take a polisher to it. Right. Because it's easy for any detailer to see a car and jump straight into it and not worry about it. But on a car of this magnitude, not
you said altitude.
I think I said altitude in the video, and Dane's like, Anthony, this car is not above, not in the air. So I was like, you're right.
Boise, not Denver.
Too tired for this. So a car of that magnitude, you really want to go through and make sure nothing is overlooked. And so during the inspection process, Dane saw. I spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours just with the scan grips, like going underneath the car, checking out the paint in certain areas, and kind of
we
making
made a lot of
note.
the video about just being aware of your surroundings, understanding what you're getting yourself into, and kind of having a discussion with the owner to try and figure out what they're really looking for before you just jump into it and say you can make magic, where maybe you burned away a ton of good usable paint because you just wanted to make it look the absolute best it could look, when the owner just really wanted something more usable.
Yeah. So that was the thing. The owner is actually going to keep this car. So he does a lot of trading. He trades out a lot of cars. He sells a lot of cars, buys cars. This is one that he said that was his baby. He's keeping that one. Once he got that one, he was like, it's not going anywhere, but he wanted it to look as good as it could. So just taking the time to analyze the paint, and then also do your test spots and figure out which method I was going to go with. And so, as I mentioned in the previous podcast on the other GT350 he has, because they're two identical cars, I ended up using the Last Cut compound, which is by The Last Detail. Jace Price makes it, and that's also what I ended up using on this GT350, and then following up with a a 2-step with hyper polish. Levi tested out that combination, and the results are insane.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Awesome. I really like that product. So it's nice.
We went through the entire car, did the compounding with a microfiber cutting disc. One we have our Lake Country microfiber pads, and then following up with the orange light cutting pad with hyper polish. And
you made good use of like a variety of products, but it all made sense how you used them. You didn't just use them willy-nilly for the sake of using different things.
No, yeah.
Each had a purpose.
Each had a purpose, and it was kind of nice because I had basically done the same car the week prior to that, so I got
GT350.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the bay next to it, you'll see a lot in the video. There's another one right behind it that Anthony worked on the weekend prior.
So I felt like I kind of got to know that one, and so I felt like I was kind of basically doing the same car. So as Dane knows, I was kind of telling him this is the process I'm going about doing. Like this, I'm work from top to bottom and all of these different sections, and I kind of already had I don't know.
You had a game plan, but at the same time, if something presented itself that wasn't what you had prepared for, then you had to be willing to change up strategy.
Yeah, no, there's
you can't just commit to one idea and use it for everything because you're gonna hit a wall at some point.
Exactly. Like my pad, my pad had to change out in a couple different areas that I was like, okay, this microfiber pad isn't doing what I needed to do. The orange light cutting pad isn't doing what I needed to do. So let me go to a yellow cutting pad and see how this, works out. And
pad washer came in handy too, though.
Yeah, I noticed you guys snagged it.
We did. Yeah. We did snag the pad washer because
it got use.
So typically I'll do all of my hand. I'll have like a bucket and some power clean. And I'll kind of hand wash my pads as I'm going. But this was, since we were filming for making it look good, I wanted to use a pad washer. And I gotta say, man, I think I need one. I think I'm probably gonna get one.
Once you get used to a pad washer, you're like, I don't ever want to use anything.
Like, why would I know? Yeah,
it's just a hard sell at first for people because they look and go,
well, they're expensive.
Why do I need that? Yeah. I can just wash by hand. That's free.
No,
so
but to be able to go, it literally work on a panel, clean your pad, work on a panel, clean your pad, work on it. Like
your efficiency goes way
so
up.
much better.
It pays for itself in the first job too.
Yeah. Well, and the products we use, you kind of need a pad washer because you with O&R and the hyper system, the pad likes to be wet.
Yeah.
Not soaked, just damp.
Just damp.
Where some of the other product lines, they recommend, like the Rupes line recommends using compressed air.
Right.
They don't talk about a pad washer for those products. So that's kind of the hard thing is a lot of people that don't use the hyper system from Optimum are kind of confused as to how, why do I need a pad washer? Why do I need this?
I've never needed one before.
It just depends on certain products and certain companies. Also depends on the foam that the pad is made of. Closed cell foam pads, if you use air on them, you end up destroying the pad.
You bust them open.
You basically blow all those holes open, and then you shorten the life of the pad. So not all pads can take compressed air.
And when it comes to cleaning your pads, that's something that, like, you don't realize how much of a difference it makes in the correction process when you have a clean pad versus when your pad starts to get gunked up. Because I'll admit, when I first started detailing, I would use the same pad, and I'm like, oh, it's not working as well. Just keep adding more compound, to where, and then people learn that a cleaner pad is going to do a better job correcting. Now, especially with the microfiber cutting pad. And so microfiber gets so clogged up when you're putting that compound on. And when that's clean, it cuts amazing. But once it starts getting gunked up, it starts creating more heat. And then after a while, it just kind of starts
creating more micro-marring.
It just starts micro-marring.
And of course, as a detailer, they're looking at that stuff and all they see is it's not working. So they blame the product, not the process.
Yeah.
So
and it also, pad washers are still, working their way. That Lake Country one that we have has been really good.
Yeah.
I've had 2 or 3 of the Lake Country pad washers. They do a lot. If you put them in a heavy use like I did, you do have a tendency to break them. But luckily, David Patterson is a good friend, and I'm able to order my parts and call him and go, hey, I need new parts. And he puts them and ships them in a box, and I get them, and they're easy to work on, easy to fix. The Grit Guard pad washer is another one. There's almost no moving parts. It literally is just a floating, it's cool. It's got springs, and it basically floats in this pool of water. Again, you're using one type of water or cleaner on that, where the Optimum one separates it, so you always have clean water to work with and dirty water that all your dirty. So you're always getting clean water in your pad. You're never reusing filthy water, so to speak.
And so when you're cleaning now, you're either investing in a certain amount of things. So if you're cleaning everything by hand, then you're going to invest into some type of pad cleaner, whether you're using an all-purpose cleaner or whether you're using a pad-specific cleaner, and using brushes or using things like that. And now you can do it by hand that way. The other way, like you said, compressed air, but then you need an air compressor, and then you need a bucket. It's always good. Like White details what he does is he grabs his bucket and then he coats the inside of his bucket where he sprays some water on there, so when the dust starts flying, it attaches itself to the inside of the bucket. It doesn't start flying everywhere else. Whereas then a pad washer also doesn't make a big mess. Like I was using that right next to the car, and I didn't have any splatter or anything because of how when you press the pad onto the pad washer, you have a ridge around where you bring it up and put your
set up to speed.
Set up to speed to dry it out, and all of it flings around the inner side of that barrel and doesn't go anywhere else. So you're investing into one thing or another if you're wanting to, I guess, keep everything moving. But it's
otherwise you can do it the old-fashioned way, just by hand. But that's going to be slower, and time is money with these kinds of jobs.
It is.
So
and it's nice when you can utilize the same pad if it's still working for you, and you're able to clean it in between panels. It's just much more efficient. You're also able to put your pads away dirty.
Yeah.
And clean them when you start the next project. Rather than all of a sudden have a bucket of dirty pads that now you have to clean, or you have a pad that, a bucket that just soaks your pads.
Right. Yeah.
It's just nice that way. You've always got, you're always clean no matter what.
You don't have to stress about at least that part of the job.
There's never, oh man, these pads are still wet, or they're not fully clean, or they haven't soaked long enough, or... you're just always cleaning.
One part of the project I don't think Anthony mentioned here was after doing the entire body of the car, all the painted sections, even the metal sections, left the glass alone apart from washing it. There's a reason for that.
So that glass on the on that 65 was actually original to that car. So before the owner that has it now, that car was only a one owner. For the last 50-something years.
Which is insane.
And so that car was very well taken care of. It had a really cool history behind it. But when he told me, he's like, everything on the car, a lot of things have been restored, but this glass is still original to this car. And I'm like inspecting the glass. I'm not seeing any major chips. There is some scratches here and there, but really it was just kind of that surface.
It's just that spider webbing. It looks bad to detailers because you see the swirls. But physically the glass was in really good condition. It's solid.
It was,
and that's important.
But apparently, this car was the guy bought it because it is a race car.
And he
did race it
on a dirt track.
The original owner had dirt track. You would never know. I mean,
that glass survived.
Somehow the glass survived. But everything on that car was. Oh my God! It was so perfect. You could eat off the engine, the interior. So it was a
good restoration.
I backed it out to take some pictures of it, and sitting inside there, it felt like a brand new car. The clutch felt like a brand new car.
The clutch was amazing.
The clutch was amazing on it, and then the shifter assembly. Having it's a 4-speed, but then you have your reverse that you have this cool little lever, this little claw lever you pull up and then bring it into reverse. Everything felt. So like a new car. Like I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm sitting in this car. Is there going to be some grinds? Is it going to be a little, I don't know.
Typical
like
old car things you run into.
No, it felt like a brand new car. It was really nice. So that project took us all 3 days. I did wear the same outfit every day. I took my clothes home and washed it for consistency. But
Dane didn't.
But
Dane wore the same clothes too.
So it took us 3 days. We had a lot of fun. I mean, we went out to lunch every day. We, kind of enjoyed the process of it. It was hard work.
Might as well when you're spending that much time. It's like
when we used our weekend.
We didn't get a weekend.
So they got to do that.
So that was that. So we'll be looking. So look forward to the video here. Dane will probably start working on it here pretty in the next couple days. I'm going to start
it as soon as I get the driving portion done on the Tyler GT350. I go from a 350R to a classic 350.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
That'll be cool.
But I'm almost done with that wash Wednesday, and yes, you'll be seeing that the week after this week. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, moving down the line, I had a question I put together. I didn't quite know. I do these things like right before the show, so I didn't really give them a chance to
fresh in your brain.
Yeah, really fresh in your brain. I just made up a YouTube question here.
First, before you bring that up, show off the new logoed sign. Yeah. So for you YouTube viewers that are watching us, we've got new signs that we'll be posting up behind Dane's head there.
Yep.
We didn't get them posted yet, but
it'll go up.
Hopefully this will make more sense.
Make it legit.
So those of you that are listening, you can watch this on YouTube.
Yeah, hop over to our YouTube channel. We post them the same day they go up on Shout Engine. Then iTunes updates whenever iTunes updates.
Yep. So, all right. Just wanted to put that in there since we're on the topic.
Quick
of YouTube.
plug. Yeah.
Why not?
Nice.
All right. So, so the YouTube question, this is for everybody. I'm curious, just the way people think. You consume media, so different people have different preferences. I just ask here, assuming the quality of the information is equally good between them, are you more inclined to watch particular styles of videos more than others? Or is the info the draw? So are you the kind of person who's more drawn to the info in a video, assuming the same info is being given to you, but maybe the presentation style is different? Do you want like that dry delivery where it's just very basic and informative, where it gets the point across? Or are you looking for something with a little more flair? What makes you stick around to see what the video's about?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Because
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, how do I learn?
So going back to the Elantra and having to try and watch an awful video.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. So I was looking strictly for info. Mm-hmm. I had my Chilton manual. I was just looking to see if...
You had the Chilton out?
Yeah, the Chilton out. That is straight info.
That's old school
I had
stuff.
That, and I had this, and I wanted to pull off the two. Mm-hmm. Normally, there's a couple different channels that are very good with how to replace, and they do. It's like A1 car parts or something like that.
Okay, so it's not model specific.
No, but they do a model specific.
Oh, okay.
Usually, but it's very random. So I mean, if you go, Anthony, for like your Civic, how do I replace the shift boot on this or the door panel?
That's
the
a
door
YouTube
handle.
channel?
Yeah, they'll show you step by step, and it's very well edited. It's really nice to look at. It's very simple.
A1?
Yeah.
I've actually watched their videos. Yeah. I use that when I replace my my rotors and all that.
Very simple, very easy. They've got it on a lift. They do all the stuff you can see.
Very in-depth, too. I'm talking pretty informative. If you need anything, look up on that.
They do a really good job.
That site, yeah.
So I was hoping there was one of those. Mm-hmm. There was not.
Oh.
It was literally someone filming it with their phone, and they were doing this.
The elusive Elantra.
While they were wrenching and working on it. So
filmed in like...
those of you listening, I'm just basically just shaking my phone back and forth.
Yeah, 140.
Yeah, shooting it in 500p or whatever.
Yeah,
144p.
A low number.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. It was hard to focus, hard to see. Mm-hmm. I was just trying to use it as a reference. So I still watched it many times. Over and over again,
just
to try.
The Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it was like trying to get all this info as much as I could out of it.
Yeah.
So, luckily once I, understood and got it, I was like, oh, okay, I see everything.
No. Yeah.
Once the puzzle was revealed to me, I was like, oh, I got this, and I knocked it all out. And I've replaced many thermostats on many vehicles that I've owned, so it's not a new thing for me.
Yeah. The general function is easy enough to understand, but the placement of stuff is different every car you go into.
Yeah, so I guess in your question, I do like quality videos. I like getting quality information. It frustrated me a lot to see how poor that video was.
The information was there didn't mean that it made much sense.
Yeah. It could have been way clearer, way easier, lot steadier. So,
and that's like a worst case scenario for that sort of thing. Like I'm trying to think in terms
but it's
of
something
like
that
down
I never,
to the worst,
but
also on a higher level, just like production value styles.
And so for that kind of thing on that, I look for a nice thumbnail.
Okay, yeah,
is the first thing.
Catches your eye.
Yeah, and then a good intro. I don't like our mutual friend's intro to his show. He won't be named.
He won't be named. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man,
that dragged on a little bit.
Epic.
You can email me, and I will send you. I will tell you guys. You can email me at levi@theragcompany.com, and I will.
We don't want to.
I will let you know whose intro that is. I will send you a link to that video.
These are my favorite. I love them. I love them.
So. I like a clean, nice intro that just
if an intro has nothing
starts.
to do with the video you're about to see and doesn't seem to make sense contextually with the type of content you're watching, that usually throws me.
Yeah. So that's. Just
I think
me.
that may be what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just as long as it I want it to pull me in.
Right.
I don't want me to pull me in and go, what am I doing here? Why am I in this room?
But pull you in and still have like some like meaningful tie-in to what you're about to see.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Like with our videos, I tend to just throw our logo in front now. I used to do more long drawn out ones, like it was some kind of like self-help presentation kind of thing, and I realized nobody wants to sit there for 30 seconds watching logos
but ours
fly
is
around.
Very simple, and we'll draw because we go, oh, it's Rag Company. Let's see what they did.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, it's better if one of you guys just walks in and says, hey, and it's like, all right, that works too. So I kind of mix it up in each video, but you never know. It just kind of depends on how you're feeling that day.
You don't play music for 2 minutes?
It's not, usually, I love playing music, but it's usually not the
2 minutes straight and just stare at the camera.
I figure people come to watch a video, they kind of want to get to the point, at least to start, and then they have a little more patience for artistic flourishes.
No, so for me, okay, when I'm watching a video, I'm doing like an install or something like that, or I'm working on something, I'm not gonna lie, guys, like I'm one of those people. I'll be in the middle of this install. I'll be in over my head. I'm already nervous about what I'm doing, right? I'm like sweating, or I'm like shaking.
You're working on a Mitsubishi.
Or it's I'm working on something.
I'd be nervous.
And then I'm like, okay, I need to find this video. So I'll pull up a video, and I just find myself like I need to get straight to the information. I skip around. I'm like, where's the good stuff at? And if I don't find it, I get more frustrated because my hands are covered in oil or grease, and
another video.
And then it's one of those things to where I get really anxious and excited when I'm working on something. Like I want it to be done. Like I don't take my time. So I like have to have a beer if I'm working on something because I need it because I have to like calm myself down.
Poor child.
So what I'll do is I'll have to wash my hands, go inside, and then sit down and watch a video. But I really like that direct information, and I don't care if it's bland. I don't care what it is, as long as it's shot well. And somebody can have a monotone voice, and they could say, "Remove this 10mm bolt."
Right. Yeah.
Now remove this 12mm, and I'll be like, "Perfect, thank you. That's literally all I need." However, if I'm watching somebody to where I like them because of their personality, and it's like a whole process of kind of having fun, and they make the video fun, then that's a whole different story. I'll just watch it because it'll be fun, and typically there'll be some cool result at the end. But when I'm like deep into a project and I need answers, I like having my answers then and there.
And I guess this question is strongly dependent on the kind of content you're looking for in the first place. When you're looking for a guide on how to work on your car or something like that, you probably are looking for more of the information and less of the, oh, that guy seems like a cool guy to have a beer with. Like, it's not really...
Yeah, like, I don't want background music. I want, just give me that information.
I mean, if they're giving me the information and it's well put together, that's cool. But usually with these kinds of videos, it tends to be a little lower production value because the person's just trying to get some information across.
Yeah.
So for Miatas, I like the Car Passion channel. That guy's good at putting stuff together. He does a really good job, broken boosted and all that stuff. So anyway,
typically, half the videos you find, I mean, on just about anything, are some dude in his garage at 2:00 in the morning with no lighting. It's pitch black.
And he's like, so many of those.
He's like, you see that bolt down there, and you literally see nothing. Like there's nothing on the camera. He's like, well, it's down there, and just get your wrench, and you'll kind of just get a feel for it. I'm like,
but make sure you get the right bolt, because if you don't get the right bolt, oh my goodness, the other one, the car will explode.
So I've watched videos of guys replacing their washing machines or dryers, because I do that too. I'll work on my washing machine and dryer. I'll replace parts.
Regular handyman over here.
But that is that is one of those things that I always get a kick out of, because it's literally a guy in his garage, and he's like, okay, and he's tried to make it professional, but you can hear all the echoes and everything of like where
lawnmowers in the background.
I give him a pass because making videos.
At least he's doing it, and he's
just trying to do you a favor.
It's helping me, and it's saving me money, and that's all that matters. But to answer your point of me being a regular handyman, my grandfather had a book that I have that is the closest thing I have to a journal of him. He died when I was 4, but it's a book that my grandmother bought him that is a how-to house book, basically. It's how to work on your house. And
like around the house, or
it's like if you bought a brand new house, and here's a book I give you, and it's how to fix everything in your house.
That's great.
So it's from Better Homes and Gardens from 1950.
Oh, of course. Okay, yeah.
And it's about that thick. So it's probably, my hand's probably about 6 or 7 inches thick.
That's massive.
And in the back is a bunch of blank pages that he wrote.
Oh, cool.
And kept a journal of everything he did to the house from 1950 when they bought it till 1984 when he died.
That's really cool.
Literally every project was documented. I'm talking from when he, planted flowers in the front yard to when he built the wiring diagram for the basement of the house.
That's cool.
To his little workshop, his little corner nook that he built, that he put a workbench and shelving, and that was his little spot to work on. He designed and wrote all that. He was a field engineer for NCR, National Cash Register. So he thought like an engineer, and he wrote like an engineer, and he had all that written out. That's the only peek I have into his brain. But in my head, I thought, here's a man who worked 50 hours a week as the managing field engineer for NCR. He ran the NCR office in Boise here for 42 years.
Wow.
He had 6 children at home, and he somehow seemed to finish and complete a huge house project just about every month or 2 months.
Jeez.
For 34 years.
He didn't sleep. He must not.
So that going, I look at it and go,
wow.
I'm kind of lazy.
yeah.
You feel lazy.
I only have 2 kids,
like that.
and I'm doing that. And I look at
exhausted.
My house is pretty nice. His house was 50 years old when he bought it. It was 1898 is when the house was built. So I look at, like, he's in technically an old house. I'm only in a 30-year-old house. He was in a 50-year-old house. But the stuff that he did over the course of the life of that house. And so I look at that and I go, all right, my grandpa set the bar pretty high. I need to at least be able to achieve that. Or come close to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
3/4 of the way.
I don't think I'm ever going to be as amazing as he was, but and like I said, he died when I was 4. So, but I can at least, I have a pathway.
So if he was alive today, he would be making those kinds of YouTube videos for people.
He would be. Yeah, he'd be that dude doing that. So he'd be teaching people.
Who does that.
Apparently, there's a page in that book on how you can wrap asbestos blankets around your pipes so they don't freeze in the winter.
Oh, shucks. Sounds like a great idea.
Well,
So is asbestos not what you want, though, right?
Yeah, you don't want to breathe asbestos.
You don't want to breathe in the asbestos.
You just don't want asbestos, period.
Okay.
It also talks about the best way to remove lead paint and then reapply it.
Oh, good.
I'm good with the first part.
It's pretty funny because there's some pretty bad stuff in there that you don't want to do. But
it's okay.
But anyway,
won't come back to haunt us.
But that's one of those, like, I look at that and that's kind of, that was my first inclination to how to fix or do those things. And I think that's basically what our YouTube generation is now. These are basically journals on how we can do or fix, or you can watch when you're working on something.
I'm glad those kinds of people exist, though.
So that's the thing. My girlfriend, right? We're so different. She likes watching TV. She'll go and watch movies or series on television, whatever it is.
I like watching TV.
And she likes it a lot, right? I am not a TV watcher, right? I do not watch TV. I spend little to no time in front of the TV. I have a 67-inch TV. Don't use it. Don't use it. Dane saw it's huge.
Yep.
It's super nice. I don't ever use it because I'm always watching YouTube videos on something, right? Because in my head,
my girlfriend's like, we have a 67-inch TV and you're watching it on your phone, and you're like, I like it.
Well, that's why I have an Apple TV plugged in my 55. I just pop on YouTube, and there we go.
Because I just like learning things. I'm just one of those people. I don't have that technology yet. I'll have that soon.
Dude, it's like $60.
You know what? Hey, guys. So, anyways, but I like learning things. Because she's like, you're basically doing the same thing as me, but you're just watching videos that are produced by some random person in their garage. But I'm like, yeah, I just feel like I'll put maybe this. I don't know,
I'll put it to use.
I'm like living vicariously through these other people that are doing this, and it's good information. I don't know why I watch it, but I always like learning something. Like if I can learn something, I'm happy. So with that said, though, I think that videos in general, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that anybody can just jump on YouTube and start producing something. And so this is something maybe for you guys watching. if you're good at something, and you're even remotely like making videos, make a video on it. Just
you
do it.
You don't have to like try and create a big channel and promote it or anything. Just start putting stuff out there that helps people.
Like I said, I'm kicking myself because I've got a little tripod. I could have easily just set it up.
You could have
explained
easily
the whole process, and that video could have gone on to help somebody else in my situation. Even if it was one person, it could help.
Yeah.
And it could make someone's day and go like, oh, I can finish this. I could save, maybe money's tight for you, and that's why you do these repairs yourself. You don't have the $150 or $200 to go to the mechanic and get it done, but you've got the $20 and you've got a couple hours on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why not, do it then? And that's, if you can help one person do that, that's what should be what it's worth.
Well, and for me, like with the whole YouTube thing, like, yeah, I watched, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, all that stuff, TV shows and whatnot, but I watch a lot of YouTube too, and I think the reason I'm drawn to it is because, at least in my artist brain, it's that I'm drawn to, singular visions, whereas you watch like a show or something like that, it's kind of designed by committee. Right. Like a focus group deciding, oh, we can't talk about that because that makes this group uncomfortable.
However, that is changing because of the fact that you can make whatever you want on YouTube. The streaming carriers like Netflix and Amazon and those are allowing more freedom for artists to actually create their own visions on that stuff.
I do
They're
love
not stifled by NBC
and that's why
ABC.
I really like Netflix originals. They really do have some really
those
cool
are actually
stuff.
really good.
I started watching Black Mirror last night. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Black Mirror? Oh.
It's
my girlfriend started
the first season.
My girlfriend started the what's it called? I think it's
by the time you're done, you're gonna feel real sad.
It's on Hulu.
I don't know if I want to do that.
But it's so good.
What's the show my girlfriend started? It's what's it called? The Handmaids.
Oh God, Handmaid's Tale.
So she started.
The first episode
started
will make
that.
You just curl into a ball.
Oh, watch that yet,
dude! I saw like 15 minutes of it. I'm like, this is crazy. What is this? And she's like, I just started it. She's like, I'm gonna binge watch this because this is just. It's crazy.
Last night I watched, it was a Hulu original. They did that documentary on George Lazenby becoming Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was only Bond once.
Yeah.
James Bond. And that is one of the funniest little things. They did this awesome kind of recreation, retelling his life story, but with actors playing him and stuff like that while he's telling it in an interview as his old self. It's really cool. And they kind of drunk history style it.
That's cool. That'll be
funny.
I'll have to check it out.
It's right there on Hulu if you ever check out.
One thing I wanted to point out, though, guys, is that it's now October.
Yes.
And I am jazzed because...
Pumpkin spice?
I'm an October guy.
Basic.
Because I like October things, dude. I love Halloween. I like going to the pumpkin patch.
We got our pumpkins last night.
Yep.
Oh, you did?
And we already had them all put out.
You're a smart man because you get good ones.
We've had our Halloween decorations up for about a week or so already.
Man, you're running on a retail schedule almost.
Well,
wait, no, that would have been a month before.
Yeah. Well, maybe like 2 weeks.
I worked retail.
Yeah, it's same. So I know it starts in like August.
Well, my wife and I love Halloween. It's one of our favorite holidays, and thankfully we were blessed with children who also love Halloween as much as we do. I think they are more jazzed about Halloween than they are Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that. So this year my wife started kind of updating some of our Halloween decor for the house. But we had Mr. Skellington, as the kids call him, outside, and then he's just a skeleton.
Skellington.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then he had a scarf last year because my daughter kept wanting to bring him in because she thought he'd be cold if he slept outside.
I mean, when you're all bones.
So, yeah. But we went and got pumpkins. So we got 2 big pumpkins and then 4 little pumpkins and then 2 little white pumpkins that my kids call ghost pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
So
cute.
We got those all dolled up and put out on the front porch and all that. So it was fun. But we did that the other day as a family. Just went to this little fruit stand on Broadway, and they had a pile of pumpkins out there because it's expensive to go to the pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you guys do the pumpkin patch corn maze thing at all?
We do during the day or during the week because it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not as busy. We went last year on a Saturday, and it was insane. You could not get, you couldn't find parking. No. When you did find parking, you were so far out in the back 40 that you had to, like, you finally got into line, and then you were in line for an hour after you walked 20 minutes to get to the thing.
And it's probably kind of a regional thing too. Like here in Idaho, we got a lot of farmland and stuff, so you get a lot of those, mazes and stuff. Whereas I think in cities, the haunted house theme is more popular. That's kind of what they do. But yeah, if you're in the Midwest, you probably have a similar situation. To us
and we had fun. It was, and my dad paid for everybody. He took me and my sister and her husband and had all the grandkids, and he was, he wanted to make a day of it, which is fine. But my sister called us and said, "Hey, we're going to the pumpkin patch. Do you want to go with us?" And we're like, "Yeah, that could be fun." And then my wife checked, and she was like, "Oh, no, not on a Saturday." Like, it was like $18 a person.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was like,
museums cost less.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay.
Concerts cost less.
pay $60 for me and my kids to go. My wife.
Movies cost less.
And that doesn't include any food or snacks, and it doesn't include your pumpkin at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to be $100 into this when we're not even
That's
done.
That's like all inclusive, right?
Yeah. I was like, no, we're not, maybe if it was like, oh, it's $18 person, you get to just pick out a pumpkin, you get it.
See, that'd be a good
like,
motto.
all right, that makes sense.
It's like it's decided for you already.
Yeah. But during the week, that same place, it's $18 is like $10. So for some reason they have, they increase the price.
That's capitalism.
So one thing I'm trying to rally for, guys, is I want everybody here at work. I want to have like a work field trip, right, to where all of us one night go to the haunted world. And so what the haunted world is here, it's like it's a farmhouse that they completely do. It's like actually 2 farmhouses that they do to where it's like a total like scary horror theme, and then you have a mile long walk through the woods and through part of a cornfield and through all these little side houses. And dude, it's a good time, man. It's like I think it's $20 a person. It's a little expensive. So what you're saying
is we need to go, and I need to get a couple of the head mounts for the GoPros, and we'll just
go
through the
there you go.
Thing.
That'd be a great idea.
Last year when I went, so you go in groups, right? Because they want it spread out so where people aren't getting the same scare, and because it's all real people working this event, it's all actors and stuff like that, and so. Basically, last year I went and I was forcing my girlfriend in front of me. I'm like, "Here, you go first. I want you. I want you to get the brunt of the scare." And then she does go first, right? And she's like, "Hey, Anthony, nothing's happening, right?" And then the door closes, right? Because they knew that I was going to do this. And the door closes, and I'm stuck out in like this side room, and this little girl. It was just so scary. She comes up, and she's like, "Can I see your shoe?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to give you my shoe." And she's like, "Let me see it." I'm like, "I'm not gonna give you my shoe, you creepy little girl," because she was like undead or whatever. And then I'm like, "You know what? I am gonna give you my shoe." I gave this girl my shoe. I didn't get my shoe back for an hour. I literally was walking through the maze for an hour. Right?
Listen.
And like each actor I was going up, I'm like, "Hey guys, like that chick stole my shoe." I'm like, "We don't know who that is. She doesn't work here." And I'm like,
because they're acting.
I'm like, "Please stop. Like I really need. I've been walking through mud, and I need my shoe." I eventually got it back, but awesome. I was like, "That's commitment right there." So that's why I'm thinking if we all go as a group,
I got a heart out. Yeah, I gotta leave and go to the bank.
Okay.
Sign some papers on
you got things to do.
So
that's okay,
I got a heart out, but you guys can keep going.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys all later. Have a good week and enjoy yourselves.
Okay, bye, Levi.
Have a good one, Levi.
Have fun. So that's something that I'm hoping that we can rally everybody to do.
I think that'd be fun,
dude. If your parents do that, because I think a lot of people here haven't been to it, and if we all went for like a company trip, maybe they'll give us a discount, and then we just go and. It's a good time, but I love Halloween. I mean, it's fun. So that'll be one thing we're looking forward to, and then of course SEMA at the end of this month. I know we'll keep talking about that over and over again, but that's where we'll be spending Halloween this year.
Yes.
So do I dress up? Should I wear like an eagle edgeless poncho?
No, it's been a while since I actually went to a Halloween thing where I actually dressed up. I've been to some parties and stuff, but I was Wilfred last time.
Wilfred, dude. I was Colonel Sanders, and it was the best outfit.
You showed. Okay,
I showed you. It was good, dude.
That was a crazy good costume.
I pulled it together like the day of, and
this wasn't like a store-bought thing. You actually put it together, which is just
it was so good. I show up to KFC because I needed to get a bucket of chicken, and these people that were working there lost it. They were like, "Will, we will give you a free bucket of chicken to take with you, along with an extra bucket because we think this is so good." And they all took pictures of me, and it was, dude. And I was like, had this. I kind of got the accent on the southern, southern accent, and it was a good time. So this year at SEMA, we'll figure out what we want to do for Halloween because I still want to have fun and play along with it. because we'll be there from the 27th to the 5th. I think it's the 27th, 5th, or then to the 5th or 6th of November. Yeah. So we're gonna be there for a while.
It's gonna feel like it's probably like 2 weeks almost.
It's gonna feel like it. It's gonna feel like it because a weekend in Vegas is long enough. So a week and a half, 2 weeks.
It's kind of like dog years versus people years, just because the amount of like stress and pressure put on you when you're there. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, I couldn't agree. So, anyways, I think we're gonna wrap up this episode, Dane. So
so Levi is obviously already gone, but the two of us, I guess, we could sign out. So, any rate, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching if you're on YouTube there, and listening if you're listening from Shout Engine or iTunes, and make sure you subscribe if you're on the channel. Either way. And give us a review. We like reviews.
We do,
and we
like
comments
reviews.
too. If you leave comments,
we like comments. So let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Just feedback is good.
Don't worry, commenters always let you know when you're doing something wrong.
They do, you people. You people.
Okay. At any rate, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.